to you. Don't let it be the other way around, because that's what happened in Chicago. They scored quickly. They were up 14-0 in a blink of an eye. And then you got to run. And then you got to get away from the run. Then you got to start passing. Then Khalil Mack's rushing your guys. It's a completely different game. The Bears don't want to play that game. The Bears are not meant to come back. They're not built for it. They don't have the quarterback to be built to come from behind. So if I'm Mike Zimmer, the type of game the Vikings need to play is a let them play from behind one. Do you be aggressive early? And I'm just playing devil's advocate, because there's two ways of approaching this game. You can play aggressive, and you can go out and you can try to go for the kill early, which I agree. If you go up 14-0 in this first quarter, you got to love the Vikings' chances at home. The defense is playing great. You got to like the Vikings' chances. But then you don't want to turn it over. You don't want to be overly aggressive and take chances, because then again, that's how the Bears beat you last time, by turning the ball over. You don't want Cousins to throw a pick early, because this is what I've noticed with him too. When he throws a pick, it's almost like he really starts holding the ball a little. He starts gripping the ball a little harder now. So you can either take the aggressive standpoint of it, or you can take the conservative. Okay, we're going to take field goals. We're going to run the ball. We're going to take long drives. We're going to keep that defense on the field, really tire them out. Try to win through the trenches. Go after that secondary. You can play it that way. Regardless, there's one common denominator in this. Don't let them play with the lead. Because it's been proven, when you get up on the Bears, they can't come back. They can't. A lot of their losses is when they were trailing. You're not going to sell me on Mitchell Trubisky. You're just not. I'm sorry. I'm just... Make his arm beat you. Don't let his legs beat you. Because that's what happens in a lot of these games. Look, the Bears have a formula of winning, and it's this. We're going to run the ball. We're going to create turnovers. We're going to play great defense. And we're going to kick field goals. I mean, that is their... last week I was watching the 49er game against the Bears, and the 49ers had a chance to bury them early. But they settled for field goals. And that's what the Bears want you to do. If you can get 3, fine, they'll give it to you. Because they know the defense is only going to give up a couple of those drives. The Vikings need to go for the kill in the red zone. They can't settle for field goals. A lot of those games, man, the Bears hold these teams to field goals, right? 3, 6, 9, and then 2 touchdowns are winning. And then when they're up, they say, all right, defense, win us a game. And that's what they've done week in and week out. I'm not sure what the answers are in terms of what type of game to play. Do you want to play the aggressive? Do you want to play the conservative? But there's one thing that I tell you have to do. You got to score first, and you got to make these guys come back in this game. Because if you can do that, you got to like your chances at home at US Bank Stadium. All right, welcome back here to the Strom Sports Show. How about the Twins? I mean, the Minnesota Twins, which is usually hibernation mode during the winter meetings and, the off season, they don't really like to do much. How about them going out and signing Nelson Cruz on a 1-year deal? Ready for this one? 1 year. Guess how much the Twins gave them? This I don't know how they're going to afford anyone else. $14.3 million for 1 year. I mean, that is a lot. That is not like the Twins. Like that, and Cruz is 38. Usually what the Twins would do is wait until Cruz is about 46 and then get him on like a 1 year, $2 million contract, something like that. But give him credit here. No player has hit more home runs over the past 5 seasons than Nelson Cruz with 203, which is 15 more than Giancarlo Stanton, who's out here, can't stand him, and he's 1 year older than Rocco Baldelli, which is just weird to think, like, having a player that's older than you, and you need to listen to a guy that's younger than you. It's just, I don't know, it's odd. I mean, baseball is very professional in that way. I don't think that's obviously going to be a problem, but you got to give credit to the Twins. They ranked 23rd in the majors last year with 166 home runs, and they've gone and got C.J. Cron, who had 30 home runs last season, and Jonathan Schoop from the Baltimore Orioles. He had 21 last year. I mean, I'm not telling you this is like some colossal move, but you got to appreciate at least the Twins are looking to do something, and at least they're kind of entertaining because they need to do this. I mean, they have to do it. They got to start putting people, my Minnesotans, you got to start going to these games, but I don't blame you. If they're going to you got to put a good product on the field. That's the problem with baseball. You have your big markets, your Bostons, your LAs, they're going to get your fans, your Chicagos, but these other cities, I mean, even you look at like Detroit, you look at Minnesota, you look at Miami, I mean, you got to put a good product on the field if you want these fans to show up. He had 37 home runs and 97 RBIs last year. Nelson Cruz did. I mean, this is, the Twins like doing this though. They like going out and signing these older players that had big years. But hopefully Nelson Cruz can come in and help. I mean, it was a hugely disappointing season. This is the disappointing season show today. If the Vikings lose, and we talk about the Twins who just had just an awful year, coming off a wild card appearance, an awful year. So we'll see if they can bounce back, give credit to the Twins. They're trying, okay? At least they're looking, How many years was it when the Twins you didn't hear a peep from them? As soon as the season ended in September, you didn't hear from them until April. I mean, seriously, that's really how it was, unless they signed to some minor league guy to a contract to go play in Rochester for a couple months. That's what it really was. So, kudos to the Twins. All right, let's get back and let's switch gears back to the most important game of the year. We didn't want it to be. We thought we would have a clinch spot at least with Kirk Cousins and this deal. But I want to talk about a question that I get a lot, and probably you get too. People like to ask me, they know I'm a big Viking fanatic, and they like to ask me, Steven, when will you know when Kirk Cousins is worth the money? It's a good question. But let me ask you this. It's week 17. The Vikings are in a must-win game, and I don't feel confident. That should answer your question right there. As of right now, he has not been worth the money. Kirk Cousins was supposed to give confidence, comfortability, stability to this franchise. So games like today, even though we paid for him not to be in these situations, wouldn't be a second thought. Wouldn't be we wouldn't be scared tonight. But the truth is, he hasn't done that yet. He hasn't given you that feeling of, that sense of, okay, we have our guy, we know what he's going to do. Is he? Is he going to be the guy that went out on the LA Rams and throw for 400 yards? Or is he going to go to, like he was in New England, and be super conservative? You don't know that. And I think that's what hurts Kirk Cousins in a lot of these situations. And I know there's still time. I know it's only 1 year. I know it could be premature. But this is sports, man. The Vikings forked over $84 million to a guy that was supposed to have this division clinched. That was supposed to not be in these situations of week 17 win or go homes. That was for the other quarterbacks. That was for Christian Ponder to do. I mean, when was the last time this happened? Christian Ponder against Aaron Rodgers, and it really wasn't Christian Ponder. It was Adrian Peterson running for 30 carries for 200 yards, and we asked Ponder to throw a bubble screen to Percy Harvin almost every down. That's what it was. And I hate to bring this guy up, but Case Keenum, he wasn't better than Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins, or Jared Goff. But he beat him last year. Going into a game with Keenum, sure, you knew he wasn't better than those guys like Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, or Jared Goff. But you knew you had this sense of underdog in you that you were sort of comfortable with him. It's Case versus the world. It's Case versus the haters. And you knew the response from Case would be that fearless dude that gave you a shot. A guy that was going to go balls to the wall. That was going to make tough throws. That would run for a first down and lower his shoulder. The Vikings paid Cousins to lose that long shot feeling. To have that for sure feeling that he was going to win these types of games. But I don't have that same feeling. Kirk Cousins, he's better than Mitchell Trubisky. Okay? I know that for a fact. I know at 4:25 my time, 3:25 your time, Kirk Cousins can throw the ball better than him. He knows more about the game than him. He can do a lot of more. He can do a lot of really good things. A lot more things better than Mitchell Trubisky other than run the ball. Case Keenum wasn't better than any one of those quarterbacks I named. Breeze, Ryan, Goff. But he battled. And I don't feel comfortable today in a win-or-go-home scenario with Kirk Cousins. So he's not worth the money right now. And this is how I know he's not worth the money. I don't feel comfortable with him today. So ask yourself this. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins in this situation or Case Keenum? How do you not say Case right now? What has Kirk shown you in these big games? Yeah, the Rams game he threw for 400 yards, but what about Seattle? What about Chicago? What about New England? Change this today, Kirk. Like I said before, you're not going to win me over in just this specific game. You owe us. You owe us a great game today. Vikings ownership gave you $84 million to not be in situations like this. So dig yourself out of it. Now, if you win this game, which I pray to God you do, because it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough and long offseason if you don't win this game. What's the overall feeling going into the playoffs? I mean, right now, what would you take? Would you take a win on Sunday and then a first-round exit loss, or would you take a loss in the Bears game and not a chance at the playoffs? You got to say, at least just win today, because you don't know. Right now, it looks like you're going to go back to Chicago, so you're going to play the Bears back-to-back weeks. You're telling me you can't beat Chicago in Mitchell Trubisky's first playoff game? You're telling me that you can't beat the Rams, who you're one possession away of, or the Saints? Just get in. Please, please, I'm begging you. Please, just get in. Win this game, and we'll take it from there. This is Kirk Cousins. Oh, I'm saying Case Keenum. That's disrespectful. This is Kirk Cousins' time here. We paid you $84 million to not be in situations like this, but heck, we're in one. Bail us out. Make us believe in you, Kirk. Because right now, and if you lose this game, you have a lot of work to do in the offseason. Good show. I hope I prepped you guys. I'm nervous. I know you guys are too. There's no way you can feel confident about this game. I'll be watching, you'll be watching, and I'll be on here next Sunday. I'm hoping we're previewing the wild card round with the Vikings and the Bears, or the Rams, where you never know, because if the Rams win and the Bears lose, the Vikings could be on a trip to LA for wild card weekend. But we'll talk about it next week here. A big thanks to the fans that listen. Seriously, you guys are awesome. I love doing this, and I will continue to do this. I love talking sports with you guys, and I've gained a pretty good following on Twitter, and I love talking with you guys. I'm always here to talk about Minnesota sports. So I hope you guys, your family, had a great holiday, and I wish you guys a happy New Year. Big shout out to my producer, Brandon Morton, Jim Sue, and I hope you guys had a great holiday and have a happy New Year. And we will talk to you next Sunday. Be good, everybody.